Welcome to Xi Jinping Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Nikki Haley is the last Republican bulwark against Donald Trump. Abandoning Ukraine could be a multi-trillion-dollar mistake. Trouble among neighbors, Iran, Pakistan, and China's offer of mediation. Building fire in China kills at least 39. U.S. urges China to help curb Red Sea attacks by Iran-backed Houthis. Nikki Haley is the last Republican bulwark against Donald Trump. The Independent. Former UN Ambassador and South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is the last remaining Republican candidate standing between Donald Trump and the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. Despite being around 30 points behind Trump in home state polling, Haley has vowed to stay in the race until at least the primary in South Carolina. Current Governor Henry McMaster and Sen. Tim Scott are backing Trump in an attempt to elevate themselves for jobs in a possible second Trump administration in January 2025. Haley has grown in strength through high-profile clashes and has experienced a rise in support from 4% to 12.2% in 538's national GOP primary polling average. Abandoning Ukraine could be a multi-trillion-dollar mistake. Yahoo! Russia is gaining an edge in its bid to extend its territory right up to the NATO military alliance's eastern border. Ukraine is running short of crucial weapons while Russia's economy is now mobilized for war and cranking out more artillery shells than the United States and Europe combined. If the U.S. doesn't support Ukraine, Republican isolationists could be making a mistake that could cost Americans more than it saves. History is replete with examples of penny-wise decisions that led to disastrous outcomes, and many analysts think China, North Korea, and Iran could follow Russia's expansionary example if America goes soft on Ukraine, with devastating economic consequences. Trouble among neighbors, Iran, Pakistan, and China's offer of mediation. Diplomat. China has offered to mediate between Iran and Pakistan following recent security tensions between the two countries. China's offer can be understood as a result of three factors. Firstly, China has immediate security concerns for state-owned Chinese firms and Chinese nationals in the region, including those working on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC) projects in Pakistan. Secondly, China's diplomatic approach has become more assertive under President Xi Jinping, who is intent on building a global community of shared future. Lastly, China's growing role is a result of the political vacuum in the region, including Afghanistan and the Middle East. The security tensions between Iran and Pakistan began when Iranian forces launched strikes inside Pakistan's Balochistan province, claiming they were conducting a counter-terrorism operation. Pakistan condemned the attack and carried out reciprocal strikes inside Iran's Sistan and Balochistan province. China publicly raised concerns about Iran's counter-terrorism operation in Pakistan's Balochistan and called for restraint from both countries. China's mediation offer is seen as stemming from both specific concerns regarding Iran-Pakistan tensions and broader trends in Chinese foreign policy. China's offer to mediate between Iran and Pakistan is a reflection of its growing role in the region and its desire to position itself as an arbitrator of peace. China's mediation offer should be seen in the context of its previous role in mediating between Saudi Arabia and Iran. China's growing presence in the region, especially through projects like CPEC, has made it more invested in the stability and security of the region. As the U.S. focuses on competition with China and its influence in the region has waned, China has stepped in to fill the political vacuum. Building fire in China kills at least 39. New York Times. A fire in a commercial building in Sinuhe, China, has killed at least 39 people and injured a further 9. The blaze broke out in the basement of the building, which housed an internet cafe and an educational center. Videos posted online showed people jumping from the building and climbing down ladders to escape the fire. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The incident follows a fire at a school dormitory last week, which killed 13 people, and a fire at a mall in Sinuhe in December, which killed 2. U.S. urges China to help curb Red Sea attacks by Iran-backed Houthis. Financial Times. The U.S. has reportedly asked China to urge Tehran to rein in Iran-backed Houthi rebels attacking commercial ships in the Red Sea but has seen little sign of help from Beijing. U.S. officials have repeatedly raised the matter with top Chinese officials in the past 3 months, asking them to convey a warning to Iran not to inflame tensions in the Middle East. However, there is little evidence that China has put any pressure on Iran to restrain the Houthis. The diplomatic push on Beijing comes as the U.S. and allies continue to bomb Houthi positions in Yemen. Sunak has subcontracted Britain's primary steel production to Macron. Telegraph. The UK should have invested in direct iron reduction (DRI) plants for producing high-grade steel, rather than relying on blast furnaces, according to an op-ed in The Telegraph. DRI plants are used to make quality flat steel and are being adopted across the EU, with France recently pledging €850 million, $1 billion, to ArcelorMittal for a DRI project in Dunkirk. The plants can operate on natural gas or, as green hydrogen becomes more available, on hydrogen. The UK has 75% of its steel produced in blast furnaces, and that steel would have become unsellable in the EU once a carbon border adjustment tax is implemented in 2026. Around 50% of the UK's steel output is exported, with 70% of that going to Europe. The UK's steel industry would thus have faced collapse if it had remained reliant on blast furnaces. However, the £500 million package offered by Chancellor Rishi Sunak to Tata Steel and Jingye Group's British Steel is inadequate, according to the op-ed. Senior China envoy dismisses Qin gang removal as not uncommon. Yahoo! According to Bloomberg, one of Beijing's most senior diplomats dismissed concern over the ouster of former Chinese Foreign Minister, Qin Gang. In a rare public comment, Chinese ambassador to the European Union, Fu Song, said that personnel change is not uncommon when you see some European politicians are also sacked from their positions. The reason for Qin Gang's sudden dismissal has not been revealed, however, it has been suggested that he had an affair while serving as U.S. ambassador and this could have endangered national security. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6 Degrees world. Let's dive into today's news. First up, we have Nikki Haley, the last Republican standing between Donald Trump and the 2024 presidential nomination. Despite trailing behind Trump in the polls, Haley is determined to stay in the race. It seems like a classic case of never give up. But hey, who knows what could happen in the unpredictable world of politics. Next, we turn our attention to Ukraine. Abandoning Ukraine could be a costly mistake for the US. Russia is flexing its muscles and could expand its territory right up to NATO's eastern border. And let's not forget the economic consequences of going soft on Ukraine. Analysts warn that countries like China, North Korea, and Iran might take Russia's lead and cause even more trouble. So, penny-wise or not, the US needs to tread carefully. Now, let's talk about China's offer to mediate between Iran and Pakistan. China seems to be taking on the role of the peacekeeper in the region. With its growing presence and investments, China has a vested interest in stability and security. It's like they're saying, hey, we're here to help. Let's all be friends. Who knows, maybe China's diplomatic skills will bring some harmony to the troubled neighborhood. In tragic news, a building fire in Sinuhe, China, has claimed the lives of 39 people. This is not the first fire incident in the city, and it's definitely a cause for concern. It's a reminder of the importance of fire safety and prevention measures. Stay safe, everyone. Moving on, the US has reportedly asked China to help curb attacks by Iran-backed Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. But it seems like China hasn't done much to rein in Iran. Maybe they're just waiting for the right moment to step in. Or maybe they're busy with other things. Who knows? Diplomacy can be a tricky game. Now, let's talk about steel production. The UK should have invested in direct iron reduction plants instead of blast furnaces. It's all about producing high-grade steel and being environmentally friendly. France seems to be on top of things, pledging a hefty sum for a DRI project. But the UK's steel industry might face collapse if it doesn't catch up. Come on, UK, let's step up our steel game. Lastly, the ouster of Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang has caused quite a stir. But one of Beijing's senior diplomats dismissed it as a common occurrence. It's like saying, hey, people get fired all the time, even in Europe. The real reason behind Qin Gang's removal is still a mystery, but rumors suggest it might involve an affair. Scandalous. That's all for today's news, folks. Remember, stay informed, stay curious, and always keep your 6 degrees perspective. Now, it's time for your thoughts. What do you make of these stories? Do you have any burning questions? Let's dive into the discussion. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.